Continuing conversation with Los Angeles District Attorney Jackie Lacey. As some of you may know, we have a city prosecutor here in Long Beach. And Jackie, how does your office relate to the office of the elected Long Beach City Prosecutor?
Well, we handle misdemeanors in the unincorporated area. And there are several city prosecutors, such as Mr. Halbert, who handles prosecutions in certain cities, and he handles the Long Beach prosecutor's offices. To give you an example how we work together, right now we are working on some legislation that would allow diversion to occur for some misdemeanors, first-time misdemeanors. And so we are constantly in contact, because if you can imagine, if you had one set of policy and rules and standards outside of Long Beach and then one side inside, the public would perceive that as people being treated unfairly based on which jurisdiction. So we work very closely together. Mr. Halbert and I are of like minds. I call us common sense prosecutors, real people. I think the world of him, and I'm very supportive of him. And I think Long Beach has a great prosecutor in the Long Beach prosecutor's office, and I have a great partner there.
Great, well thank you for that. Did you think when you were growing up as a young gal that someday you might be sitting in the seat that you are sitting in the DA's office?
I had no idea. I had no idea. There are times in your life where you allow yourself to dream and you think, I'm going to do something one day. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to do something special. And there may have been times where I felt that way. But when I entered undergraduate school, I entered to be a teacher. I thought I was going to be an elementary school teacher. I changed once I met a lawyer who looked like me. She was a young African-American woman, and I heard her speak with such passion, and I thought, that's what I want to do. I could do that. I entered the DA's office in 1986 and just kept working my way through the chairs. I never imagined that I could be an elected official. I never thought I had what I would call the stomach to campaign. I never really was interested in the political world in that sense. But a couple of years ago, a little bit more than a couple of years ago, when I realized that the district attorney was going to retire, I started thinking, I have a lot of ideas and observations in my 25 years in the office. And maybe it's time I stepped up to lead. And after a lot of soul searching, I decided to run, and I wasn't a sure thing.
Sure.
I consider myself a long shot, but.
And you found the leader within. There's a whole theory that we're all leaders, but we need to discover it ourselves.
Absolutely.
And you discovered that.
And it's a process. I don't think you wake up one day and say, I'm ready to lead, right? It's a process. For me, I think back over the last 5 years, I did a long distance walk. I went from a couch potato to doing a long distance walk. I had a death in my family, my dad, and I often thought, gosh, if I could survive the last week of my dad's life, watching him die, then what else, after you go through something like that, what else should you fear? Just a lot of other things, just watching even the political landscape, watching the first African-American president. I never thought I would live to see that.
Wow. And you, as you mentioned earlier, the first African-American to occupy that position and the first woman to occupy that. So congratulations on both counts.
Thank you, and I'm proud of that, but I want to be the best DA. I'm competitive, and I want to serve.
The country arrives when they don't see color, where they just say, Mayor Bradley was a great governor, not a great black. It's a great
mayor. Yeah, that almost happened. But
funny thing happened. Governor Duke Major.
Absolutely, absolutely.
No, they just see a really good mayor.
And sometimes, they don't appreciate the leadership until it's gone, and that can be sad.
One of our classmates at law school, I mentioned earlier off air, Eleanor Holmes Norton, has had a very distinguised career.
She has.
I think she's still a delegate from Washington, D.C. in Congress. And
she is.
She was early on in a group called CORE, which this is a radical group back in the 60s, but of course is now
it's mainstream.
Mainstream. Talk a little bit about race relations in America. I mean, we just celebrated the 50th anniversary of Dr. King's speech, and as you may know, I worked in the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department way back. We're getting there, but we sure ain't there yet.
Well, you know, here we are. We're 50 years from the I Have a Dream speech, and many of us, I would have been 7 years old at the time, 6 years old at the time that that speech was delivered, and yet I feel I was there, because in my household it's played over and over again. My favorite phrase is, one day I have a dream that my 4 children will live in a country where they are judged by the content of the character and not the color of their skin.
Amen, yes.
And we're certainly a lot further along toward that goal when you look at the voters saying we will embrace this person as
we
our
enforced
deity.
the Voting Rights Act of 1965. There was a time when if you were black in the South, you basically didn't vote.
Right. But we still, and with that, there's still a footnote. We still have a way to go.
We still have a way to go.
We need to clean up our language. We need to abandon the stereotypes. We still, even here in Southern California, you know, we still live in sort of isolated communities.
Yeah. But America has the strength to look at itself and make the adjustments.
Absolutely. We have to. We want to be the leaders in this area, right? We want to lead the world in this area, so we'd better.
Okay. Well, we'll be back with the rest of our show after these messages.
Phil Trainees mixes California style with continental cuisine that includes fresh seafood from around the world. Since Phil is the chef, the menu has a wide variety of pastas, salads, soups, and appetizers that feature his unique personal touch. And the Italian-American signature dishes are simply beyond delicious. You never know who you're going to run into at Trainees, from the famous sports legends on the Wall of Fame to local celebrities having a drink at the bar. For the best fine dining experience, visit Phil Trainees.
I want to improve my career opportunities.
I want to earn a higher salary at my job.
I'd like to finish what I started.
The new Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts degree completion program at Cal State Long Beach will help you achieve your educational goals while keeping your life in balance. Contact our customer service center at 1-800-963-2250 for more information, or visit us on the web. Let CSULB help you finish what you started.
Take care of those who are closest to you, from our family to yours. McCarty's Jewelry, since 1932.
Well, it was an honor to have the district attorney on our show, and I think we're fortunate to have elected officials of the caliber of Jackie Lacey. I want to thank you, Jackie, for taking the time to visit us. And final words to our viewers.
Well, I first of all, even though we're at the 10-month mark of my freshman year in office, I thank the viewers for supporting me and voting for me. Your DA's office is working extremely well. The prosecutors who are in our office, I refer to them as heroes in suits and pumps. Wow. And the work that they do is heroic. We require a lot of them. And we appreciate the public's support. And it's my mission to make sure that the decisions that we make are always in the best interest of justice.
Jackie Lacey, thank you for joining us on Straight Talk.
Thank you.
And thank you at home for being our guest. Please join us next week for the next edition of our show. Good night, everyone.
Straight Talk has been brought to you in part by the Port of Long Beach and the Press Telegram. And remember, Straight Talk is viewable 24/7 at straighttalktv.com.